Welcome, you happy kings, to Geek Salad's Retro Movie Reviews from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
And we have a returning guest, long time, many time returning guest, our friend.
I think I'm 7 now.
7 times guest host, Kurt Smith. Welcome, Kurt.
Hiya. How
you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Not too bad. So, everybody, welcome to May-stery Science Theater 3000 month, where we are going to be covering some of our favorite episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000. We are going to have some special guests throughout. We'll also be, when necessary, referring to the Mystery Science Theater Colossal Episode Guide from 1995.
And I hope everyone decided to make some cheese for us, because we're singing that. Well, America's leaning on cheese, right?
So, Kurt, we let you pick whatever episode you wanted to pick. So tell us a little bit about the episode we're going to be reviewing.
Well, first I have to tell you how I chose this episode, because this is the list of episodes I wanted. There's only 10 of them. I had 50 of these things when I was first asked to do this. I had to massively slash this list. But I picked Monster A Go-Go because Monster A Go-Go is possibly the worst movie I have ever seen. And I say that as somebody who has seen a lot of crap and a lot of, cheesy B movies. If you look at my letterbox, it's chock full of this stuff. I chose this one because it hurts. And it should be against the Geneva Convention to ingest this movie, because it's bad. The ending of it makes me want to rip my hair out. The fact it takes place in Chicago at the climax hurts because I love Chicago so much, and it's just I don't know. It has two of my favorite schlocky directors, but they're not good directors. Bill Rebane, who did Giant Spider Invasion, and Herschel Gordon Lewis, who I don't think he did any episodes that were on MST, but he did like Blood Feast, and he did these other kind of like I think they were nudie cuties, back in those days, in the Grindhouse cinema days. But yeah, both of them directed bits of this, and I think that's one of the reasons why I chose it. What else? It's a terrible movie, and I love torturing you guys so much with terribleness, because literally everything I had to subject you guys to, I think Jurassic World might be the only one that was kind of decent, and that's
marginal.
Decent. We had to watch Batman and Robin, and Caddyshack 2, and Jaws the Revenge, and you made me watch the Star Wars Holiday Special, Andy.
Yeah.
I will
don't know what you're complaining about.
There are a bunch of MST3K episodes that the movies are so bad that not even the riffing makes them really all that much better.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Castle of Fu Manchu. That one's hard for me to watch. This one, the movie is awful, but it's awful in the way that they can really play off of it, and the riffs actually really make this movie. So this movie is completely watchable with the riffs, as nonsensical as it is.
Yeah. It's the kind of movie I was watching that, and I'm watching this movie and thinking, man, there's so much stock footage in this movie. Ed Wood's like, oh man, pull back.
If you can't outact a post.
Oh God, there's so much about this movie in general that I love. There are a lot of great classic rock references that all three of them make throughout this entire episode.
Yeah, I always love the Robert Fripp reference, and the and then afterwards when it's like the I don't know, it sounds like the keyboard sting from Lucky Man by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. So they sing that, and they sing Fly Like an Eagle by Steve Miller Band. That sounds also in Giant Spider Invasion. At some point, I was surprised someone like Steve Brody, who was in Giant Spider Invasion, wasn't in this movie.
This was a weird movie because I never felt like at any point there was actually a lead actor in this movie. It jumps around so much. I mean, they spent a lot of time with that scientist who didn't bother to learn any of his lines because they're on the floor. Because every time he's talking, he's
looking. Yeah,
he apparently he was like one of the few cast members that actually survived going from the first half of the movie to the second half. But considering his character was killed off in the first half, and then they brought him back as his brother.
Yeah.
The making of this movie is wild.
This guy's brother, Shemp Lugosi.
I mean, yeah, Bill Rebane got he did the first half of the movie, then he ran out of money, so all right, well, I guess it's done, and he just abandoned it. And then the other guy, Herschel
Gordon Lewis.
Yeah, he found it and was like, oh, I need another movie for my double feature. Just
finish that up.
He should have done.
Man, filmmaking in the 1950s was a lawless wasteland, wasn't it?
Oh God, there's so many. There's just so many of these bad B movies that are just kind of lost to time. I love the fact that Tubi just has a litany of these things that just they don't get printed on DVDs anymore because of because of rights issues or whatever. That's what I like. That's what I like about that kind of stuff. Like I said about Tubi is because these kind of movies are on there a lot. Just not just the episodes of MST, but I saw when I watched the other night. I watched Teenage Strangler. You can't find Teenage Strangler in your local used DVD store or at the local bookstore at the library.
We didn't steal no back either.
Oh God.
Yeah. And I'll say too, Kurt, that YouTube is a wealth. It is a treasure trove for these episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, that's my entire watch later list on my YouTube is nothing but MST.
Yeah.
Everything from Gamera to Werewolf, Mitchell, Pod People.
What was great about this episode though is I did watch it on YouTube, but I actually watched it on YouTube with the original 1993 commercials in it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I watched it both with the commercials and the just straight up episode. But it was kind of fun just to seeing some of this. There was a commercial for a Nippon camera. It was only $19.99. I'm yeah, I've got way more power in my phone right here.
Right, exactly. It's a film camera, ladies and gentlemen. It's made of plastic. It needs a battery to run the flash. That's it, folks.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting about this period? This is season 4.
Yeah.
That this is real. I think this is first of all where they really started getting that more mainstream popularity. People were watching. People were distributing the tapes.
Yeah.
And there are so many of this style of movie that shows up in season 4. I'm looking right now. I mean, the very next episode is The Day the Earth Froze. Let's go surfing now. Even Sven is learning how.
Oh, they're Russo finished.
Trevi for a kayak.
Kids go running for the meaty taste of Sampo. We got Bride of the Monster. We got Manos.
I love Bride of the Monster. Oh.
We have the Rebel Set, the Human Duplicators.
Attack of the Eye Creatures.
Oh, yes. I just turned to that. Attack of the Eye Creatures. Crash to the Moon.
You know what? I have a soft spot for Fire Maids from Outer Space.
Okay.
Raids is a good one.
The Beatniks, Tormented.
Tormented is actually one of the Borderline Gordon movies I'm not a big fan of. I prefer him when he does the big monster movie.
Giant monster.
I
love. Beginning of the end. Yeah. He did one they didn't do on MST, but I really liked with Marjo Gortner called Food of the Gods, based off an H.G. Wells novel that's about giant chickens and giant wasps.
Wasn't that story also adapted into Village of the Giants?
It may have, probably. I imagine it probably was.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that they're recycling anything. But again, this movie is it's called Monster A Go-Go. And we get fleeting semblances of the A Go-Go, At points, it's like there's teenagers. They stop. They're all laying on the ground and then they scream.
Yeah. It's the same thing that happens in the Creeping Terror. It's just the monster gets like right up close to them and then they just shriek.
And then crawl into the mouth.
With these vaguely 40-year-old teenagers.
Yeah, you thought Grease was bad with the teenagers. Wait till you watch a 50s B movie.
I love the scene where like the general and like the doctors are they find the scientist's body, or no, the body of like the guy, like the boyfriend from the dance.
Oh yeah,
and then you hear, oh, General.
General. Yeah,
they actually get away with that joke a couple of times because that one like cuts to like the moving the dancing legs, like General, and plays up as a woman.
rock of high school.
Oh, the whole thing with the bit where there's just like the shot of the the science guy who was returned, and the woman just playing around with the beakers, like, my God, you're pouring sulfur back there? What's going on?
You.
This was the weird thing about this the short that preceded this.
Oh,
Ice
Circus on Ice.
They get dark in this one.
It does because the dying fawn.
Oh yeah.
I feel like we've seen, and I don't even know, just based on outside of like that one time when it was on Comedy Central and I had Comedy Central and I could watch every episode in order of when they were broadcast. I have no idea if Circus on Ice came before A Day at the Circus or whatever the ice one was, the Winter Marvels.
It seems
it kind of felt like it had been done before. They needed, and I guess they didn't even have like the original print for this either. The print was out of print, so they had to like find another way of broadcasting, which is why it doesn't look great.
Hold on a second. Here I have because I have the episode that has Day of the Circus on it, I think.
Well, Snow
no, that's just a shorts collection.
Snow Thrills was with It Conquered the World back in season 3, so that one was
okay.
Snow Wizards. It's called Sheeing. Yeah, you're full of skit.
I love that joke. Actually, oh wow! Oddly enough, here comes the circus. Day the Earth Froze. The right next episode.
Really?
I do have. Oh shoot! I do have the. Do I have the Day of the Earth? No, I have Jack. Do I? I think I have the Day of the Earth Froze because I have one of the box sets that has
Sampo.
Either the Day of the Earth Froze or Jack. It's Day of the Earth Froze. I was gonna say I was confused whether or not it was Jack Frost or. I think it's just the Day of the Earth Froze.
So they do Circus on Ice, followed immediately right by Here Comes the Circus.
Yeah, that Circus on Ice could have used a line brawl.
Hey, look, it's Emmett Kelly. He's eating.
We love it when he eats.
With Circus on Ice, though, it's like they called in, like those soldiers are called in to deal with the only dragon in captivity, which means it's like a dragon in the zoo, and these soldiers just go, "Hi, boom! Let's kill this captive dragon."
Yeah, they shoot it to pieces, literally.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It's not as if it's a wild dragon. It's in captivity.
Yeah.
It's like a hunter that just goes like a petting zoo. It's like, yeah, there's a deer. Boom.
It's coming right for us.
So, what I found interesting about this episode and reading up on the history of this episode is that this is one of the first episodes where all the commercials break segments had nothing to do with the movie.
Yeah. Because they just couldn't come up with an idea that matches the movie. So
there's nothing there.
Well, but also at the end though, like the last one before they sign off Joel is doing Mr. B.
Yeah.
And I'm like, was Mr. B the original short in this? Or it made more sense when I read that they were going out of their way to make sure that it was independent of any of the stuff that they did.
Yeah,
You're
I mean,
hot.
Mr. B was
It was the Amazing Colossal
Amazing
Man.
Colossal Man. Yeah, that's it.
No, World
Yeah,
Colossal
Little
Beast.
Women. They just put that book in
World
here to
Colossal
bug
Beast.
me.
Yeah, it's a sequel.
Yeah. But I gotta say
that's
though,
right.
Andy, I don't get you.
Oh well, I'm like the wind, baby.
Oh gosh, I wrote that down on my notes. I'm the wind, baby. Also, what I love about these 50s and 60s monster movies is the fact that like the military drives stock Chevys. Like they just went to like the local, like Bill Urbane went to like his local Chevy dealer in Appleton, Wisconsin. It's just like, can I borrow some Chevys?
Yeah,
I have
no doubt. Movie.
Yeah, I have no doubt that the cars that they used were the actual cars owned by the actors.
Probably.
Oh, sure.
That's smart. Oh, hey, it's Hobo.
Hey, Hobo.
I'm gonna plug his stuff for a second. He makes like claymation movies on his YouTube channel, and he's really good at it.
Give us a subscription, folks.
Claymation is not an easy medium to do, too.
No,
it's not. He works.
No,
his
I saw
ass
how
off.
Ben Wyatt lost his mind on Parks and Rec doing that.
5 seconds of Requiem for a Tuesday.
It's the reason why Tim Burton decided not to do Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
You're welcome, man.
So
what else?
Yeah,
what else did I write? Oh, them cooking the books in the lab. When she's like trying to tell, like, well, we gave him this dose, but why does the book say this? Like, why are you cooking the books when it's medicine? You're not running an accounting firm that's trying to cheat on your taxes. You're literally unleashing a monster. You don't need to cook the books.
Meanwhile, the woman in the back is just coming up with the
polio vaccine.
The polio vaccine.
Yeah, never mind. I'll take credit for it.
That's all she does. She's just in the back, just looking at the microscope, writing things down.
Yeah, just.
Why is she there?
But yeah. We need an extra. But yeah, they all drive stock. They all drive stock Chevys. At least like when Romero made Dawn of the Dead. But when George Romero made Dawn of the Dead, at least he got Volkswagen Scirocco out of the deal.
Yeah.
What's interesting about this movie is just how striking the end of this movie is in terms of just how it just there was no monster.
I don't know if you can read my notes. See if I can. Yeah. That's what my last note was. Because I was so mad. The ending was so maddening. There was no monster. Then how did these people die? Who killed these people? Are they all? Are they even dead? What is reality?
Yeah, I mean, I went onto the Wikipedia page for the movie, and it kind of like tries to do some kind of suggestion, saying like that a monster was impersonating Douglas, like an alien.
Oh,
but because like,
oh my god,
because they said he went up to investigate satellites that nobody knew what they were, and then he vanished, and then he came down into capsule and he was pear-shaped and short and stood the whole way.
Even after Dennis. Yeah, that would make more sense if a kid hopped up on Novocaine.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh god,
yeah, I don't know. It's like
so bad.
I don't know if I'd ever actually seen this one prior to watching it for this. Mainly because it does blend in with all those other 50s, alien movies and middle-aged teenagers and.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just like a series of scenes that are kind of slapped together. There really is.
It kind of reminds me of Sinister Urge, the Ed Wood movie they did in like season 6, I want to say.
Yeah.
Where he like literally took like footage from like a movie in Sweden. Like there's a scene where they're fighting inside like a restaurant, and it just spills out in the streets. He literally just like ripped that from like a Swedish film. I don't remember what the name of it was, but I think Bill Rebane or Herschel Gordon Lewis just like okay, I need just add this random stock footage, or I need this, or I need this, because I needed it to pad out the time. Because I think that some of it just feels like padding. A lot of it's just padding to get to the
This entire
feature
movie is
length.
nothing but padding. It doesn't.
Yeah, so you can get the feature length for his for Herschel Gordon Lewis's other movie that he attached to the A movie.
I think one of my favorite riffs in this one though is when it's playing that like bang, bang, and of course like stop it, stop it, stop it.
Stop. Django Reinhardt's tuning up.
Bang, bang.
That's another thing. The score is there's non-existent at times. It's like, what happened to the music? Yeah. It's just either that or it's like sometimes it's like industrial kind of. Well, not like really industrial. That's more like Horror Party Beach is industrial.
Yeah,
like Trent Reznor kind of industrial.
Yeah.
I tried looking around. I could not find any reference of who does music for this.
He probably bought it from a stock library.
Yeah,
because it was like Romero for Night. It's just, it's cheaper to buy a stock library than it is to hire somebody to compose a score.
Yeah.
No. There is like the original or the new. I can't remember because like the bars on the side of the screen cut off the band. Oh no, it was who doing the theme song in the opening credits. Yeah, that's like probably the only original piece this movie has. Everything else is just borrowed library stock.
And my guess is those singers were probably in the movie somewhere because that was probably their pay.
Like, here's some past blue ribbon, and you get to be in the movie.
Yeah, I can't afford to actually pay for the music, but you want to be in the movie?
Okay. I think that's how they got Jimmy Page to be in Operation 007.
That's how they got a lot of people for Operation 007.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Sorry. I'm kind of like lacking on what I can say about this movie because it just it's all filler.
Yeah.
It is. And they couldn't even afford a boom mic too half the time because like it's literally like ambient noise, like in the room itself, and then it's like they're like talking, and it shouldn't sound like they're talking like halfway across the room.
Yeah.
They're talking right next to each other. It's just very kind of echoey and boomy. It's like it's like their boom mics are not that expensive.
They must have used the microphones built into the cameras. There's
and the those cameras didn't even have mics built into them. That was all silent.
Oh,
they had to run sound on there.
Yeah.
But the lighting in this is hilarious too because they even make a joke about like the army guys don't have any faces.
Because dark. It's not dark. Robane declared. Bill Rabane never knew how to film dark scenes for Giant Spider Invasion either, because there's like one scene in Giant Spider Invasion where Steve Brody and Barbara Hale are like rolling down a hill, I think, and it's kind of dark, and you can only like make out like the clothes they're wearing. You can't see their faces. You can't even make out their clothes. It's like, good God, bro. Use a tin can. Yep.
Oh, and when they're like talking on the radio in the beginning, do you take the kazoo out of your mouth?
I'm talking to Charlie Brown's mother. What is it? Oh, the shot, the insert shot of the phone, and it's just the one dude on Bert.
Hold on, got a phone call.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made that phone noise with my mouth. God, this movie sucks.
This is it's a perfect, in terms of why we love Mystery Science Theater. First of all, it introduces us to movies like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, normal people are not familiar with Monster a Go-Go. You have to be a very specific type of fan or an MST fan in order to enjoy the
And might I also say Johnny Long Torso?
The man who comes in pieces. The right arm, left leg, right leg, limb pat. Basically, he was Johnny Long Torso was EA before EA was EA.
Yeah.
Having to pay for all the for everything.
Yeah, by itself, it would only be about $10, but with all the accessories, getting the whole one cost $300. That's EA right there.
The whole segment that they did about Rupert Holmes's Escape the Pina Colada song was brilliant, because this is the same argument I have had for years about this.
That's the argument I've gotten ever since watching this episode.
Yeah.
It's like,
and not the never released sequel, the awkward sex that followed.
Yeah.
That's why I call the Pina Colada song, prelude to a divorce, messy divorce, because there's no way they're sticking together after that.
Right. No. Exactly. I mean, if they're living landlocked, I mean, how long have they been together? I mean, how just they've never gotten caught out in the rain before? I mean, how do you even know if you like making love on the dunes of the Cape? And aren't they technically cheating on each other with each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They absolutely. Trust me, I've had this conversation with my buddy fairly recently, because he hates that song. So we've had this discussion in the car going to the city about how the man in the song is just such a piece of shit, because he's just, if you're unhappy, just leave. It's like
they are objectively the two worst people to ever feature in a song. Ever.
Yeah. At least when Kate Bush wrote Babushka, at least it kind of was implied that those people do not stay together. We don't know what happened to these two people in the Pina Colada song.
Know. Yeah, no, again, the awkward sex that followed. That's what happened.
And they have a couple of Pina Coladas, like, yeah, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? It just highlighted all the things that were popular back then, like Pina Coladas and the beach and stuff. And then he wrote Timothy, which is about cannibalism, which was also popular in 1979.
No, Timothy is a duck.
What's that?
Timothy is a duck.
Yeah, I know. And it was also a cover of a song from like the 1970s.
Oh.
Oh God.
But that was that was the whole segment that really spoke to me. Yeah. Well, that and the whole Mr. B thing, because just seeing Crow dressed up like a court jester is just. I love when they dress the puppets up.
Yeah.
Especially let's go back. You go back to Zombie Nightmare, and you got Tom dressed up as Batman.
No, it was Crow.
I thought Crow was dressed up as Robin.
Was Crow dressed as
Robin?
Robin?
Mike was dressed up as Robin.
No, Mike was dressed as Robin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Crow was dressed up as anyone.
No, he was. I think he had a sandwich, and he was.
Yeah. Oh, right. I haven't seen. I gotta go back and watch Zombie Nightmare.
What the hell is she doing here? What the hell are we doing here?
It gives me special bad powers.
Let's make.
No, you don't. I gotta cut you out of this. Auntie Harriet, cookies. I need cookies.
Is it sad that we spent most of this movie talking about other episodes because this one's so bland?
It is. I mean, it's a good MST episode.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I think we're all struggling with figuring out which ones we wanted to talk about. I just kind of tossed my shoulders up and went, "What the hell?" for next week's episode.
Yeah.
Because there were so many we could go to, and I didn't want to go with something obvious for my own. And Kurt, I appreciate you didn't go with an obvious one for yours.
Yeah.
Either.
It wasn't easy, because I obviously I wrote down some of the obvious ones: Mitchell, Manos, because I just had that list. It's like Ega,
Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
I did not do that one because it's not Christmas time yet. I should have done Gorgo, because Gorgo is such a fun one to me, because I like the actual movie itself. It's such a fun British knockoff of Godzilla, and it's also one of my favorite of the Mike, specifically the Mike era, the sci-fi Mike era, the last couple seasons of MST.
Hands down, my favorite line from Gorgo when when was it? I think Tom does his Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald spinoff.
The port and everyone was okay. They all went out for lunch and felt better. When this boat was launched, it's pretty damn sinkable. I also wrote San Francisco International down too.
Oh yeah,
certainly
it certainly sticks with you. Yeah,
it absolutely does.
San Francisco International. That one should not be on my list of favorites, but it is.
I love TV movies, like 70s TV movies, like when they were like the pilot episodes. So I love San Francisco International. I love Codename Diamond Head.
Yeah.
Riding with Death almost.
You know they were going to cast me as God, but I was too handsome.
Riding with Death almost made my list.
Ben
Riding
Murphy.
with Death, the only Mystery Science Theater episode to actually create an app. The Turkey Volume Guessing app.
Oh, okay.
You can hold your camera up and it'll let you know how many turkeys you can fit into a space. I'm going to see if it's still available. I had it on one of my older phones.
I need that in my life.
That's awesome. I didn't know that existed, but that's awesome. I also wrote Beginning of the End and Sword and the Dragon's Sword and the Dragon's another one of those. It's a fun Soviet era movie.
Yep.
I can't remember what Soviet bloc country made it. It's also a fun episode.
If I had to pick one of those Uso finish though, I know a lot of people go with Jack Frost. I would actually probably go with The Magic Voyage of Sinbad.
Oh yeah.
It's just the second half kind of tails off a little bit, but that first half is so solid. The riffs are just so good.
Oh yeah, and I also wrote down Puma Man. You are of Earth. Corn grows in you.
All right, what is this? This is the.
Oh really, Donald?
He's very nice. He's pleasant.
Pleasant. I
love the fact that Don Pleasance is in more than one episode.
Yeah, he's in Where the Lost World.
Yeah, that's another one
with Robert Ginty. With Robert Ginty, the paper chase guy.
He's the Gintiest.
He's Ginty.
And Persis Kimbata.
Oh yeah, and who else is in that? I don't think anybody else. Oh, Fred Williamson.
Yes.
Blaxploitation extraordinaire, Fred the Hammer Williamson.
And someone who isn't quite Jimmy Carter,
Ronnie
but he
Cox.
looks pretty close.
He does kind of look like Jimmy Carter, but he kind of looks like Ronnie Cox from who played the old man, or not the old man. That was the dude in RoboCop.
Yeah.
All right. Well, bad news is that the Android store does not have that app.
Yeah, I love.
It used to. Check on my work phone, which is an iPhone, but
I'll check later.
Yeah.
Don't forget the yeah, Pleasance. Yep.
Ooh, my man. Ooh, my man. He flies like a moron.
I was like a moron. Oh, I also picked a couple ones that I would have had to stream on Discord because you can't find them anywhere. It's Godzilla versus the Sea Monster and Godzilla versus Megalon.
Okay, yeah.
Because they're hard. I was lucky enough to get them before they kind of disappeared from the internet. So
yeah,
I would have had to.
I've got that box set somewhere around here.
Hey, you have to protect Godzilla because you have to protect his image from the fact that he flies. On his tail to kick a monster kaiju. Bring back the turkey. Thank you, Hobo.
Yeah, we need to do a petition for it. I had it.
Yes.
On an older phone. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
It's not there anymore.
Do you have anything else to say about this turd of a movie?
Unfortunately, no. It's like it's. I think. All right, so here's how I would rate. I mean, there are certain MST episodes that serve as great introductory episodes. Mitchell.
Yeah.
Manos.
Honestly,
Santa Claus Conquers the Martians was my very first Mystery Science Theater.
Mitchell was my very first.
Was mine.
Which one?
Was mine.
Gamera.
Okay. That's a good one.
So, I mean, this one here is that this is like, if I had to rank, this is hardcore fan stuff. This is.
Yeah, this one would not be a first timer, I think. The movie's just so. Weird.
You have to be already bought in to what, Joel and the Bots are selling at this point in order to make it work.
especially since I think having the whole segments not tie into the movie, that's another thing where you already have to be invested in the characters of Joel and the bots.
Yeah.
And there are no characters in this movie. There are people that walk through this movie, say things, read their scripts off the floor, and then they never see them again.
Yeah.
Who the hell was that guy?
I do love the stinger on this one, though. The monster just and walks off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What monster, Mike? There was no monster.
The thing
there
that
was
was
no Yashuko.
Yeah. So
this one reminded there's a riff tracks I like that I don't have a copy of, but I've watched it a lot. Is from a movie called Buffalo Rider. And it is the most boring thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's literally this guy who lives out in Oregon during like the westward expansion, so in the 1800s, who comes across this buffalo in the wilderness and like raises it and he rides it. It's literally the entire movie is him raising and at the end of the movie he kind of rides the buffalo across like the Oregon Trail, I think. It is so boring and so bad, but the riffs are hilarious. That's my problem with this one. When I told my friend I was doing this, he said, "Why are you picking this one?" Because it's the riffs are great.
Yeah, the riffs are what make this one because the movie itself is just it.
Yeah, if you try to watch this movie without the riffs,
I'm having a hard time kind of remembering a lot of the riffs is because there is no continuity. There's no like plot progression in this movie, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint where things were when they're making those riffs. We talked about all the musical jokes that they made and everything, but this movie is just like the movie itself is a suckhole into my mind. So
I think if you found the movie unriffed and tried watching it, I don't think you'd make it all the way through.
No, and that's what I love about MST is that I get to.
Yeah,
it's a good sleeping pill. Creeping Terror was like that because I watched Creeping Terror for my 31 Days of Horror last year, which that ranked I think that was number 31 out of 31 movies I watched in October. That I think I gave it 1.5 stars on Letterboxd.
Wow. So the same rating I gave Rebel Moon Part 1.
It got the rare half a star. I think only given like 5 movies a half a star, and that was one of them.
So in other words, partially worse than Laser Blast.
Yes.
But that's another one. I think I gave that one about 1.5 stars.
1.5 stars. Leonard Maltin gave it 2.5 stars.
You're wrong, buddy. You're wrong. 2.5 stars.
It is, and you know what, Mike? It's funny that you bring that up.
My Star Wars poster.
It's funny that Mike brings that up because next week's MST episode, we are going to be discussing a movie that is as good as Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, according to Leonard Maltin. We are going to be talking about Laser Blast. The very,
you know what? I think
the very last episode that was broadcast on Comedy Central.
Yep. Had my favorite closing when they were imitating the end of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yep.
With the big VHS tape.
There are so many episodes. There's so many jokes I remember from that one. I can't wait to go back and watch that one again because
I love Laser Blast.
It's fantastic. I can't wait to go back and watch
ready
that.
For some football?
Yeah, I don't think you're ready for some football. Great.
Cried the day Eddie Deason died.
So anyway, Kurt, thank you so much for
thank you, Kurt.
Thank you for having me.
Turd into our lives here.
Hey, you know what? You guys invited me on. I'm gonna make you suffer because
hey, you know what? And we're true to our word. We are men of our word, Kurt. You said you wanted to do this. We did it. No complaints. Just like Caddyshack. No, screw that. No, we complained a lot for Caddyshack too.
I actually watched the movie twice today. All right, so. I watched it first with the commercials, and then I watched it again because the video copy that they had on YouTube with the commercials, the quality was not there.
Yeah.
Not great.
But then I watched a video of one that looked like they got it off a DVD, and it was a little bit more clean.
Yeah,
that's why you gotta clean your heads, man.
Yeah.
90, and it was 93. It was before the Philips CDI came out.
Yeah, so there were no commercials for Afterburn or the Burn Factor.
Burn Cycle.
Burn Cycle, that was it, yes.
Correct. Back in Thanksgiving 1994, the predominant ad that was on during the Turkey Day Marathon was the Philips CDI.
Oh my gosh. Oh God, why did Philips think they could make a game console?
I don't know, because they had DVD technology before DVDs were even a thing.
And they wasted it.
God. Well, they did get the Zelda math games.
Normal view.
Normal view.
Oh, normal view.
And also, Hobo, we have Rift. We have discussed the movie
CDI
already. Yep. No, honestly, I think a couple of Paramount movies made it on there. I think Forrest Gump made it on there, but that was about it. They had to deal with Paramount because Paramount was into all the bad ideas back in the 90s. Like Divx. Hey, you like that movie that you got on disc? Pity if something were to happen to it.
Oh, gosh.
So, Kurt, thank you so much for joining. It's always a pleasure having you back here. We'll have you back again.
Always a pleasure to be here. Always a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So, as I mentioned before,
I got to plug
we're
my
doing
social.
Laser Blast next week. Kurt, tell our friends here where they can find you on the socials.
Okay, time for my plugs. You can find me on Twitter at Swayze of Arabia. You can find me on Blue Sky at also Swayze of Arabia. You can find me on Letterboxd, which is linked both on my Blue Sky and my Twitter. You can find me on Instagram at Swayze_of_Arabia. And I just, a couple weeks ago, I did an episode with Nick from Movie Emporium, Triv from Trivial Theater, and Jacob Anders for their Fifth Dimension, their Twilight Zone podcast about an alumni of MST3K, antagonist in Mitchell, Mr. Martin Balsam, called The New Exhibit from the fourth season, which was released last Wednesday. So if you want to check that out and hear my thoughts and my discussion, we talked for almost an hour and a half talking about it. It was that was a lot of fun. So
and that's on YouTube, right?
That's on YouTube. That's I can you can find
it on folks,
YouTube.
Follow him on Twitter and all the other places, and he'll post it for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Come to Blue Sky. They don't have DMs yet, but they just got animated GIFs.
Oh, they did. Okay,
They did.
I kind of forget that I have a Blue Sky thing, even though we talk about it every week. I never use it.
I rarely use it too because they don't have DMs. If they had DMs, I ditch Twitter and just go to Blue Sky just all the time because Twitter sucks now.
Definitely a happier place to be. I remember I did the Twitter fasting for like a day back in August, and it was the happiest day of my life. And then I went back.
Same here.
Because I hate myself, really. So, but thank you so much. And also, Mike and I host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check that out wherever you get your podcast. I'm not even going to bother listing them because there are so many. And if I mention it now, it's going away tomorrow. Because that's just how the podcast game works now, my friends. We also do this here every week. So if you enjoyed Mystery Science Theater Monster a Go-Go, leave a polite comment below. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. We love that. It helps us out. Give us a review in YouTube. Give us a review on Apple for the podcast because it's the only reviews apparently that matter. We are also on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast, and we are at Geek Salad Radio on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Threads.
And thank you, Hobo Films, for chatting along with us.
Yes, thank you, Hobo Films. Go check them out. They're also on YouTube, so make sure that you are checking them out too.
I went on Twitter. I can't remember Hobo's Twitter handle, but he's on. Hobo's on Twitter.
Oh, I'm sure I'll get it. I'm sure we'll get a follow at some point.
Yeah,
and I'll make sure to spread that. And I feel bad because I probably already followed him. I just lose track. Oh, thank you.
We get more out of this movie. We get more out of anything than most people. Especially
this movie is 70 years old, and that's what we're doing. So, anyway,
no, definitely
half is 70 years old. The other half is like 69 years old.
So, anyway, until next time, I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
Go forth, be nerdful, and push the button, Mike.